Almost nailed. Make sure this thing works.
Court package as pertains to you. Okay, you see this one? Wait, ready to proceed?
Almost, Judge.
And your Honor, briefly, Greg Rosenfeld on behalf of the defendant.
Are you making an appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Dippolito, will you retake the stand, please?
It's on.
Your Honor, before we begin, I'd like to make an objection on the record to what Mr. Williams is going to do, just to preserve the record. Going to object to any attempt by Mr. Williams to play videotape of Ms. Dippolito with either Mr. Shihadi or Witty Jean on the grounds that pursuant to Florida Supreme Court case State versus Williams, 623 Southern 2nd, 462, and State versus Glosson, GLOSSO, and 462 Southern 2nd, 1082, citing United States versus Russell, 411 U.S. 423. All those cases stand for the proposition that when law enforcement has engaged in egregious misconduct amounting to a due process violation, the defendant's predisposition to commit the alleged offense is irrelevant no matter how heinous the offense is. So I made this objection at the
Yeah, the reason I wrote it before, I agree with that general statement of law. I don't think that's the purpose for which it's being offered. I'm assuming, although I don't know, we're going to offer statements that were made to Mr. Shihadi or to, is it Mr. Jean?
Yes, Judge.
Those for purposes of impeachment, I would assume, and not for purposes of establishing whether she has predisposition. I agree with your general proposition, but I don't think that will prevent Mr. Williams from playing the tapes here at court for purposes of this hearing. So to the extent that's your objection, I'll overrule it. All right, Ms. Williams, ready to proceed?
Yes, thanks, Judge. Ms. Dippolito, so where did you get your acting lessons?
I had done some acting for a talent company.
Who?
Somewhere in Fort Lauderdale.
What's the name of them?
Avenue Productions.
Avenue Production. And when was that?
That was, I don't know, a little after high school.
I'm sorry?
A little after high school.
After high school. All right, how old are you now?
33.
And what was that after high school?
A few years.
I know, what year?
Sometime after 2001, 2002.
Okay. After or around then?
Around then.
Okay. And you and Mr. Shihadi had a lot of phone conversations, a lot of personal conversations, talking about this plan to set up this project.
Yes.
Is that yes? Okay. So where are your notes of all these meetings and what you guys were going to do in your scripts? Where's all the stuff?
That was at our house.
Okay. Where? At your house?
In the office.
Where in the office?
It was on the computer and in the office.
Okay. So you can still get that, right?
No, I actually can't go back to that property.
Okay. Did the police seize that computer?
No, they didn't.
They didn't?
No, they didn't. Mike was actually leading that investigation, and no, they didn't take anything that was relevant.
All right. Was your ex-husband involved in this?
Yes.
So he met with you and Mr. Shihadi, and you guys had all these conversations, the three of you together.
Yes.
And anybody else involved?
Yes.
Who?
He's no longer here.
Who is it?
It was Mike's computer tech.
What's his name?
Dave.
Dave what?
Dave Husk.
Husk? H-U-S-K?
Yes.
And where is Dave Husk?
Before my trial, he was actually supposed to come forward, and they found him hanging from a tree with a suicide note.
Okay. And what did Mr. Husk do to help with this production?
He was supposed to be helping with the filming, and he helped with the writing.
Okay, so you guys had stuff written.
Right. Yes.
And you had notes.
Yes.
And you had videos.
What do you mean videos?
Yes, well, obviously, you're doing this to put videos together. It's a production, right? So you're recording all
We
the stuff that's going on.
researched. We researched.
Oh, you just researched, so
Right.
nobody actually did any filming.
There was some, yes.
There was some filming. Who did the film?
Dave and Mohammed.
And tell the judge what they filmed.
Mohammed rehearsing and acting
Where?
at our house and
your house?
outside, yes.
Okay. All right, so he had been to your house many times then before you had conversations with him regarding this case?
A few times, yes.
A few times?
Uh-huh.
So he would know exactly where you live?
Yes.
So you wouldn't have to point out for him where you lived?
I wouldn't think so. I don't know. I can't speak for Mohammed.
Did you watch any of these tapes of you? Did you watch any of these between you and Winnie Jean and you and Mohammed Shahadi? Did you watch them?
They were played at the trial.
So you watched them?
Yes, at the
You've
trial.
seen them on your own too. You watched them before trial, didn't you?
Yes.
And you don't remember telling him where your house was?
Telling Mohammed where my house
You don't
was?
remember?
No.
All right, well, I'm going to play it for you.
Okay.
Did you keep track of stuff on your telephone?
I don't think so, no.
You guys would clearly have text messages between each other talking about getting together to do this stuff, to work on the project, right?
There were a lot of phone calls. It was more phone calls than anything.
And are you just phone calls? So, but what about text? You don't text? Because you sent a lot of texts.
I know that there were a lot of phone calls.
But there's not one text, is there, with you texting anybody talking about any kind of a project involved acting, is there?
I'm not sure. I mean, we were talking so much on the phone, it was easier to talk than it was to text.
You didn't look through all your text records to show everybody, look, here, look at the text messages. We were communicating about this. You didn't do that?
No,
Why wouldn't you do that if it happened?
because there were so many phone calls.
Okay. So tell us, you're aware that when you talk to Mr. Shahade, you're being recorded by the police? You're aware of that?
No,
You have no idea the police are recording you guys?
no,
So none of this stuff, none of these tapes you knew anything about being recorded?
no,
Okay, you didn't know anything about Woody Jean being recorded?
no.
You didn't know anything about Mohammed Shahade being recorded?
No, there was one, but I thought it was Mohammed taping it. I didn't know the police were taping anything.
Gotcha. So, how was all the stuff that got recorded? How was that? How'd it fit in?
I don't know. Not understanding your question.
All right, well, what was your script? What were you supposed to do? Tell us what you were supposed to do and how this fit into your plan.
Mohammed was on an episode of Burn Notice, and we were trying to simulate the episode that he was on.
And what was the episode?
It was a murder for hire episode.
Okay, tell us about it.
It was somebody who had faked their murder for hire, and it wasn't. It was an actor who had faked it, and he was on the episode, and he gave us the idea on how to do it.
He gave us the idea on how to do it. Okay.
Mhm.
So, and your husband's in, your ex-husband's in on this all along.
Yes.
Okay. When you got arrested, did everything change?
Yes, everything changed. I'm being accused of something that I didn't do.
Absolutely. That wasn't part of the scheme, right? For you to get arrested?
No.
Absolutely. Okay. I just want to play a few things for you. Do you remember this video of you guys occurring on August 1st of 2009?
Are you showing the video?
Yeah, this one here.
Oh. This one was at the mobile.
Is that the mobile gas station?
I love you too. Yes, that's the one that Muhammad was supposed to be recording.
Okay. And where was the recorder?
I don't know, he just said he was going to be taping it.
He told you he was going to be taping it.
Right.
Okay. And what was your role today? What were you supposed to do?
It's not about the fucking time.
I was supposed to do what I did in the video.
It was, I'm sorry?
I was supposed to do what I did in the video. You want me to go through the whole video?
Okay. So this is supposed to be something you guys are going to put online so that you can get publicity.
On social media, yes.
On social media.
Right, to see if we could get, so we could try to get an acting job from it.
So this was acting.
Organized crime or
Yes.
also on probation. Like if you're turning into all these fucking people, is what I'm saying to you. If you know a lot of people.
All of a sudden, this guy, he's on, you know, and this is all he does. He's on nothing but and, like, you don't contact him, he don't contact you, and he might tell you, it's like, to get out of town or something for a day,
Yeah, but the problem is that I never go out of town. So now I'm just gonna go to like I'll go to Boca or I'll go somewhere else. But
like an alibi to be somewhere.
Right.
Verify when it happened.
Yeah, I'll go get my hair done or something, or I'll...
So was the person who was acting as the hitman one of the actors?
What do you mean?
The person who was acting as the hitman, wasn't that one of the actors?
No, it was someone Muhammad told me to meet.
But how was he fit into your acting plan?
Muhammad told me that I needed to go meet him.
Okay.
And that was when we were at Chili's, and that's where I didn't want to go meet him, and Muhammad forced me to go over there.
You don't hear you guys talking about it here on August 1st?
Right, but that wasn't at Chili's.
I understand that. This is 2 days before Chili's.
Right,
You're already talking about it.
right.
You remember on this video that you gave Muhammad $1,200 in cash?
Object, Your Honor, it's completely irrelevant based on State versus Williams, State versus Glosson, citing U.S. versus Russell. This is an impeachment. This is all to show what her subjective predisposition was, and it's not at issue in this motion to dismiss.
Oh.
Do you remember you gave Muhammad $1,200 in cash?
For Muhammad.
For Muhammad?
Right.
Okay. And what did Muhammad tell you it was for?
It wasn't for that, though.
What was it for?
It was for collaborating on this project with us. I mean, it's his time, and
What did you tell him? What did he tell you it was for on the video?
we'd have to go back and look at the video to see what I said.
He didn't tell you it was for the hitman to buy a gun?
We said a lot of things on the video,
Well, let's play
and,
it.
okay.
I'll be somewhere, but I need to go out of town. I never go anywhere. Right away, everyone's gonna be like, oh, what a coincidence. You never fucking go anywhere the day you leave the shit happens.
Will you give me the address and a picture of it, or?
I have a picture of him right now.
And just right now, it's
Why do you need to give Mr. Shahadi a picture of Mike Dippolito if he knows who Mike Dippolito is and he's working with him?
Because he was taping this, and so we needed to capture it for the tape.
Okay, then how come you can't see any of it?
I wasn't the one taping it, I don't know.
So you didn't get together with him and talk about where's the camera, where am I supposed to look? How am I going to get publicity out of this?
He was the one who was in charge of doing it.
You just followed along blindly.
Yeah.
You're right here, right behind the town, right here, the two-story town?
Not you, but the other one.
Is that not you telling Mr. Shahadi for the first time where you actually live on August 1st of 2009?
It was being taped, so there was a lot of things that we had to say for whoever would be watching it.
On the left, if you won't follow me home. I'm right here, I'm right down the corner if you want.
No, I'm ready to tell, we're going to do, figure out how to do a face up when he goes to LA Fitness, right?
Yeah, but he just had surgery done, so he hasn't been going to the fucking gym.
Okay, so let's say he starts your house for day two, when you step outside,
He walks the dog.
So all that stuff's real about your husband walking the dog every morning at certain times? That's true, right?
Yes.
And it's true about your husband getting surgery and not being able to go to gym and work out.
Right.
How did that fit into the acting plan?
It's easier to remember when you put the truth in there. That's how it was written.
Okay. That was written, so where's your copy?
I don't have my copy because I was arrested and I wasn't allowed to go back to my house. And when I did, all my stuff was already packed in garbage bags, and the police was there.
Was this your first time portraying this role? So this particular part of the acting, was this your first time actually doing this, or had you rehearsed this prior to this day?
Not like that, to that extent, no.
All right. So you had a script, right?
Yes.
Where was your script this day?
What do you mean, where was it? It wasn't there. We looked at the script, but I mean, we didn't take it with us.
Like he goes and, you know what I mean, like he walks the dogs or whatever, but like, when's he doing this? Because this other shit that you fucking did before, I gave all this fucking money and nothing.
You give it to the leader, that had nothing to do with it. And I told you to stay away from
I
it.
didn't give them anything.
I
What are you
told
talking about?
no, Larry, hold on, when you walked into the clothes store, I told.
Was that real too, when you met those two guys in Riviera Beach? Or
No.
was that was part of the acting?
Yes.
Okay.
Told you.
I didn't give them any money.
You told him that you were going to give him my Range Rover or something like that.
No, that was bullshit. That guy still calls me, but I told him I
Yo,
told him
they're
account.
trouble, stuff.
Yeah, I know.
They're going to get you in trouble.
They don't even know about this. They don't know about this. They don't
I
know
don't talk to
anything.
them.
The other guy that wasn't with them.
No, don't talk. I'm doing this.
No, right, I don't talk to them. They don't even ask me about you. Not the other guy. The other one is the one, because he wanted to help with.
So who wrote all this?
Muhammad, Mike, and I wrote part of it too.
You guys wrote all this?
Yes.
You thought this was going to sell?
At the time, yes. I mean, we're in our 20s. I mean, you know, yeah, we did.
But I haven't talked to him in like a couple months.
Okay, after he killed your mom and all them, not gonna, like, his mom is not gonna get suspicious of you or anything like
Why
that.
me? Like, do you know what fucking killing somebody is? Yeah, but killing somebody, come on. I mean, that's fucking, you know, nobody's gonna be able to point a finger at me. But I needed to say, like, remember you were asking me who's that and who's this, who's that?
Yeah, I'm trying to put it.
Alright, there's this guy that like fucking hates him. Like, he snitched them out, and now that family's doing time right now.
Is that true? Is that true?
Is what true?
Is it true that you knew that Mike Dippolito had snitched on a guy and the guy was doing prison time?
He was convicted for fraud, and so
And Mike had ratted him out?
he did a lot of things.
Okay. Did Mike, what you said on there, was that a true statement, that Mike ratted a guy out and that guy hated Mike because he was in prison for it?
I don't know if he ratted him out, but yes, he was convicted for fraud, and so yeah, there aren't too many people that are happy with him.
All right, so that was true.
I don't know about the ratting out part, but yes, that's how I said it.
Okay, now, if he doesn't have no direct contact with you, other than the following. Okay, he's not even gonna tell it to me until after he shows you, you know, he's dead in the news. That's the way he works it.
Right.
So, if you fuck him over, he'll come after you.
How the fuck would I fuck him over $3,500?
I'm just telling you, that's how he is.
I know, but
He's a dirty guy.
no, that's fine. That's fine. Like, but how you gotta tell him too? Like, you know, I can't go fucking meeting Buddy and giving him money. Like, you better send someone and then
No,
I'll
this
send
is
someone.
gonna be after it's done. He's not taking him to it. This is after it's done. It's on my word. Okay, I know him, you know, like, back in the days, he got a military, he really would have a job, and all this shit, so he's good at it.
Okay. But now, how am I supposed to know what day he's gonna do it?
He's gonna give you a couple of hundred big toys.
Like, for example, like Wednesday he's going to Boca. He's got like a dentist appointment in the morning.
We can put it on his schedule. He's gonna know the best time, where, furthest place from your house, he's gonna have everything organized.
Okay.
Okay, it's gonna be within before Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that, because you want to post week on Thursday.
All right.
So
So he
he
wants
wants
to get
to-
paid before then. Right.
Judge, can you hear? Can you make out?
I can hear most of it, some of it you can turn
Do you want the transcript? I'd help you to follow along with
If
it.
you have a transcript of it.
Yeah, I think I do, Judge. Let me just try to find it.
to pay him.
Okay.
Seriously.
Well, papers are gonna bring me, I'm gonna know he's fucking dead, like, the cops are gonna go.
Newspaper, whatever,
Okay.
whatever,
Fine.
as long as you get the proof, you know, then, you know, that's straight, but,
Why
like I
don't
said,
I
he
just
promised
fucking give
me.
you the money and you give it to
No,
me?
no,
Okay,
I'm not
fine.
gonna do that, I'm giving him the deposit, whatever,
Yeah.
and, I'm just I really appreciate if you can help me out a little bit with like the bill, money, like, give me an extra $200 on that. I'm not getting nothing out of it.
What are you talking about?
Like, you know, just only, 2 bills, like I'm right behind on some stuff, not 2,000, just like 200. I'm not doing,
I
making
brought
nothing up.
1,200, like, that's all I brought. He's asking for 1,200?
You can't pull out an ATM or whatever.
I withdrew money today to fucking get this. Let me see if it'll let me take it. If it'll let me take it, I'll take it for you. I said, what are you asking me for afterwards? Like, I'll give you 20 once it's done.
That's that money.
You're going to give him 20 what when it's done? You're giving Muhammad 20 what when it's done?
It's just,
Correct.
that was just the way that it was written, and
20 what? What was the script?
it was how we said it. I mean, it was, some of it was ad-libbed, but I wasn't planning on giving him anything.
Where'd the $1,200 come from that you gave him?
It came from me and Mike's money.
Where? Where'd you get it from? Did you get it from the bank?
From our, I believe from our account. Yes,
So you went to the bank and actually pulled the money out.
right. Yes.
Someone's skilled catch up on, you know, the $100,000, like, you know, whatever, just give me 20 with cash, like, you know.
Right, right. No, of course, I'm not going to write you a check. I know that.
Here, Judge, I think I found it. Sorry, right here on page 14. Just so I'll flip around.
But yeah, everyone's going to think it's related to that fucking bullshit. I'm going to tell them. I'm going to say, you know, like, bullshit. I'm just going to tell them, like, these guys went in, like, he's been bumping into guys. I'm going to tell them about the guy at Target that we ran into, this weird guy that lives in our fucking neighborhood, too, that's on fucking probation for something else. I'm going to throw all their fucking names in it. I don't care.
And who is this that you're going to tell all this bad stuff about your husband? Who are you going to tell? Who's the character that you're going to tell all this stuff to?
There was no character.
Okay.
It's just what we're using for footage.
Gotcha.
I'm just going to start naming a bunch of stuff. I'm going to say, you
Well,
know,
this I want to talk about, no, this shit done with. I don't hear these guys, you don't hear these guys, that's it, it's done.
I know, and we never talk about it again. Ever do we talk about it again. And you're sure, like, we can trust this guy and everything's okay with this guy, right?
Yo, the people that he's done, trust me, he's known for that. He's good about it, though. He doesn't have no fear too much for what he is.
Okay. Are you going to drive me to the ATM? Yeah, but the thing is that I used the one over, something they don't let you take out. You think it'll let me take it out? Okay, I'll try.
And that's where you give him the $1,200?
That's where I gave him money, yes.
I swear, my wallet's empty because I'm going to check my work. That's why I actually do draft.
You know I don't care. Like, I've known you for fucking ever. I brought pictures. I brought you forever. It's like, you
I was
know.
giving a picture of my face.
No, I know, but let me see.
What are these pictures of that you're showing them?
There were a lot of different photos there, so.
Tell us what they were, because they were part of the script, so what were they?
Pictures of me and Mike,
Okay, what else?
our house, I think.
Okay, what else?
I'm not sure.
You know, I'm late for work. I feel like it's done. So I gotta be him too.
And he knows the truck and everything like that. And I have a picture of the Porsche. Like, he doesn't need that much, that's what you're saying.
He just needs to see it once outside the community. Walking along, whatever.
That one. take my grandfather fucking out of the picture. Can't you fucking cut him out?
Yeah.
Here. Is this a good picture or no?
Yeah.
Is that part of the script too, to take your grandfather's picture out of there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if we can, straight after this, seriously, don't ever do this shit again, you know?
You know what? You fucking start getting your shit
No,
together too.
that's what I've been trying to do, I'm just trying to...
These are what the houses look like where I live.
Yeah. See that,
Okay, so you're fine.
no extra information, you get to him, nothing, except him, you don't have to do...
I'm not seeing him, right?
Just when you don't give him the...
Right, but right now I'm not seeing him. I'm not any... Why am I fucking cut off this fucking pictures? Really? You're gonna give him something with like fucking fingerprints all over?
I'm gonna show it to you, I can keep it.
That was part of the script too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let me see if I can pull this out right now.
I give it the 1,000 for it, I'm gonna give him the 200 later, and it's gonna be this 200. Seriously, I was supposed to be fucking working.
But you're sure that it's just like fucking like a solid, like it's not gonna...
Yo, this guy is more... This guy's fucking
because
cheap, yo.
if you're like, oh, he's on the fucking left, and you know, he's not on no fucking left for anything, because I had him looked up. So it's like, you know, that was bullshit. He wasn't on any fucking watch list.
Yo, this guy's a professional, it's not bullshit. He doesn't charge 10 grand, because all he does is get done, that's it.
Right.
You know?
Okay, good.
Oh, you got me nervous, okay.
Okay. And then, you know, like, we already fucking said, like,
You knew that one was recorded, right?
I knew Muhammad was going to be taping it.
All right. And did you ever see the tape after that? Did you ever say, hey, Muhammad, show me the tape. I want to see what the tape looked like.
No, no.
You weren't interested. That would have been the first taping you guys did, right?
Yes.
So you weren't interested in how you looked.
I didn't know they were going to edit it, so I have no idea. I didn't see it, no.
All right, and then do you remember Woody Jean giving you a call?
He called, yes.
And he called you on August 3rd.
Yes, he was the one calling me, yes.
And it was a relatively short call, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't introduce himself, but you knew who he was. You knew he was playing the part of a hitman, right?
He was the guy I was supposed to be meeting. Okay.
And you knew what about this guy? What did you know about this guy?
I didn't want to go meet him. I knew that it was a meeting that Muhammad was setting up, and I didn't want to go see him.
Yeah, well, tell me what you, because it's part of the script, so tell me what you knew about this guy.
No. I went to go meet Woody Jean. I didn't want to go ahead and do this anymore.
Well, no. When Woody Jean calls you.
Mhm.
So before Chili's ever happened,
Right.
Woody Jean calls you.
Right.
What do you know about Woody Jean when he calls you?
That Muhammad told me to be expecting a call from Woody Jean.
Right. And he told you the name of the person?
Yes.
He did?
Yes.
Okay. So Woody Jean, this undercover officer, told Muhammad his name.
Yes.
And he told you his name was Woody Jean. Muhammad told you that, right?
Yes.
So you knew before this.
Yes.
I'm going to give you a call. He's like in about an hour. He's like, so we can go ahead and we can meet up. He's like, but remember, he's like, I need the $3 grand up front. Like he's going to tell me like what?
So you contact, after Woody Jean calls you, tells you he wants $3,000, a key to your house, and he says he's driving up from Miami to come meet you somewhere in Boynton Beach, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you immediately call Muhammad. Is that correct?
I'm not sure.
All right, well, how is this part of the script, this call between you and Mohammed when you telephone him? How is this part of the script?
Well, I didn't want to do this. Mohammed was threatening me and he was putting pressure on me to do all of this.
All right, so we'll hear that in here, right?
I don't know if you'll hear it in there, but...
Let's listen.
I'm like, all right.
Well, did you on his phone?
Yeah, I have the number. That's from where he called me from, caller ID. I don't know how to get through me on the phone.
Well, tell me since you know where I live, I'm looking to running away. You're obviously going to pay you. I mean...
So there's like all this shit with being talked on the phone. You don't think that I should just meet him and freaking talk to him face to face, or what should I do? Because that's not...
I don't know a little bit. I mean, you know, you get pissed if you don't even have the money, and if that what's going to help with you.
All I'm saying is, it's like, when it's like if you nothing gets done, and now there's a key fucking floating in my house and I get robbed.
What?
Is that...
Is that part of the script that you're worried about this guy robbing you?
He's telling me what to do. I'm asking Mohammed what to do.
Oh, he's telling you that you're worried about the guy robbing your house?
I'm asking Mohammed, what should I do?
And why are you asking Mohammed what you should do when this is all part of the script?
Because going and taking it to an extreme, that wasn't part of the script. They changed the script. The plan was the video that we had done at the mobile gas station. That was harmless. It wasn't hurting anybody, and then they took it to a whole other level, and that's what I didn't want to be part of.
All right, so tell me, after August 1st and before August 3rd, what happened with you, your husband, and Mohammed between August 1st and August 3rd related to this so-called project?
Mohammed's telling me that he's being threatened, and he's getting pressured from the police, and he's threatening me, and
Okay.
I'm doing what he's telling me to do.
Sure, tell the judge how he's threatening you.
He threatened to kill me.
Why did you call him then?
Because I had to call him.
And why? Why'd you have to call him?
Because if not, he was going to hurt me. He was going to hurt my family.
All right,
Mohammed has domestic violence issues. Mohammed has been in trouble for domestic violence.
All right, so what's interesting is when you talk on direct, the first time you ever mentioned anything about Mohammed making a threat to you was at Chili's. When you told him you didn't want to do this
That's
anymore.
where I saw his gun was at Chili's.
I'm going to object to misstatement for testimony on direct.
So now he's threatening you before Chili's and before August 3rd. He's threatening you since August 1st.
No, he threatened me with his gun at Chili's,
But you just told us that at this phone call, he's already threatening you.
but not with his gun.
Not with his gun, just threatening to kill you.
He's
With his bare hands, right?
threatening to hurt me.
Okay, and how's he threatening to hurt you?
He's telling me if you don't go through with this, I'm going to hurt you.
And what'd you tell your husband Mike about this?
I was scared, and Mike is also, in agreement with him.
Oh, so Mike's also he's threatening to hurt you as well.
Mike is in agreement with continuing with what Mohammed's saying.
Gotcha. How come Mike never ended up any videos or anything?
How is he supposed to be in the video?
You guys are planning to murder him. How's he not ending up on any of the videos or any of the audio or any of the text messages? How do you...
How do I know now, like, it's gonna freaking get done, and like, my Roger said, I don't know.
He's actually want to take as much as this kid, he's even more scared. He probably wants to ask you to either enter the housing or that or something, I don't know.
So why did you want to keep in my fucking house? Like, I thought you thought the shit wasn't gonna get personal.
But it isn't. I'm saying probably wants to like,
I don't know. I can't keep doing this anymore. You know how I feel about that. I've already been there, done that through that fucking road. It's good. You just started having money anymore. You know that. You know, I came up with fucking 12. What the fuck was that for then?
Is that the $1,200? Is that the $1,200?
I'm going to make an objection to all of this questioning. It's not even close to impeachment. I think this is beyond the bounds of the purpose of this hearing, and I'd like a record of that. This is not impeachment evidence.
The objection is overruled. She's told her version of the facts to support the position you've taken in your motion to dismiss. Mr. Williams is entitled to explore the credibility of that story, and so the objection is overruled.
And just to make a record clear, my client spent maybe a minute on direct examination talking about any of these videos, so I respectfully disagree with the court that this is a line of questioning that I asked my client. It's beyond the scope of direct examination law.
The objection is overruled.
Is that the $1,200 that you handed to him 2 days earlier?
There was money that was handed to him.
You just told us that the $1,200 was payment to Muhammad
Right,
for him to have.
right.
Then why are you asking Muhammad what the $1,200 was for that you already gave him?
It's part of the script.
Oh, this is also part of the script. So he's threatening you now, and then this is... So part of the script was for him and Mike to threaten you that if you didn't go through with this, that they were going to come after you? That was part of the script?
The $1,200 was for Muhammad.
Okay. Why did you ask Muhammad what the $1,200 was for 2 days later?
There are things that I said. I was nervous. I was stressed out. I was...
You forgot, right? You forgot what it was for 2 days earlier?
There was a lot going on during all those days.
All right.
So it's like, and then, you know, we came to the agreement, okay, after the fact, you know, whatever, like, what we said after the fact, which is fine. And you know me, like...
Well, I'm just going to be a family, criminal, something, all this, you know,
It was part of the script that he would talk like he's drunk and you can't understand the thing he's saying? Was that
Yeah.
part of the script?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was? Okay.
Okay, so now what?
You want me to put in here, y'all can do that,
Okay, and how do I know, like I told you now, I'm fucking floating a key to my fucking house, like, you know? There's more shit than that, like, I have a fucking alarm, you know? It's like, it's bullshit. Huh?
Explain it to me.
I have motion detectors, like, it's not just like, I live in some fucking basic house.
So that was all part of the script too?
Yeah.
Even though this wasn't being carried out, that was all part of the script that he was going to come to your house, potentially rob it, be inside your house, this person that was not part of the script?
That wasn't actually going to happen.
It wasn't going to happen?
No.
Anyways, alright, well, are you gonna be, like, around here?
Is that true though?
Is what true?
About your alarm system and motion detectors?
No.
It's not true. You don't have any alarm system?
An alarm system, yeah, but not motion detector. or
You don't have,
anything.
so you made that one up?
Yeah.
That was part of the script?
Yeah.
Okay, what about the key? Is that part of the script?
What do you mean the key?
The key. That you
I didn't
wanna
bring
give
a
the
key.
to the pretend hitman, that was part of the script. So that the hitman wouldn't rob your house while he was there.
I didn't bring a key.
I understand that, but you're saying you don't want to give him a key here
Mhm.
because you don't want the hitman, who you don't know, to come in and rob your house. And you get ripped off.
Right.
Is that true, or is that part of the script?
It was scripted. Right. No one was supposed to break in or...
Gotcha.
You want to call and say, oh, I'm supposed to do this, like,
I'm just gonna talk to my girlfriend and see her. I don't like talking all this shit over the phone, like, it's already fucked up.
Your phone is not hotwired because they're doing something really close. They can't allow you to off.
What?
Said your phone was in the test.
And now I'm just telling you, like, I don't want to talk about this shit up, you know what I mean? I'm just one of them. Like, that's not my house, it's the rules. What?
Where you
I can't understand what you're saying.
can't talk to your husband. I said, where did he ask you to read?
He didn't say. All he said to me was that, he's gonna come up around here. He knows where I fucking live.
So you guys are just practicing the script at this point because you don't know you're being recorded.
We're going over the script.
You're going over the script. Okay. And do you have the script with you? You're like reading off the script?
We had memorized, I don't know if I had it with me that day.
You're in two different places, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so you don't have the script with you. You know that this phone call is supposed to take place, or where, if you're preparing for your script, where is it that you guys are going to get together and discuss these lines?
We would get together at my house, or we would get together outside.
I didn't tell him.
This is Lenny, so please start.
He said I'll be up here. He's like, I'm coming from Miami. He's like, I'll be there in an hour. And he called.
And if you guys were preparing the script, how is it that you met with Woody Jean an hour later after this?
I don't know the time.
Let me phone 786 number.
Then what? That's just the very hard
What?
That's just the very hard done.
I didn't ask him. That's all he said to me was, I'm going to need $3 grand up front. So it's like, what the fuck? What do you know what I mean? Like, he said to me, he's like, I'm going to need $3 grand from you up front. He's like, a key to your house. You need a fucking key to my house. Like, for that shit, you know what I mean? I'll fucking turn all my up shit.
Please try something up in my house.
All I'm saying to you is, for how the fuck do I know, like, they're not just going to fucking legally get rob my fucking house?
So it's what they do for a living, I'm going to get away and stop.
Right, the reality is that, like, why are they asking for money up front? Like, you told me it was 12, and then afterwards, like, it was going to fucking happen.
Well, people back off, so I say go towards the soul.
But I don't, you know what I mean? I can't fucking give that money. Like, right now, I'm holding on to, like, every fucking dime I have in case this shit doesn't fucking fly.
Was that part of the script too?
Yes.
Okay, so give them $2 grand.
I don't have it. Like, what the fuck do you want me to say to you? And if it doesn't fucking go through, I'm giving up more money. I can't keep fucking...
No, if you give back, it doesn't go through. He's not like that, trust me. Tell my cousin I'm bigger shit. I just don't know who it is, though.
I fucking gave him, I gave him what he fucking asked me for. I gave him the fucking club, I gave him that whatever. If they fucking, want it, they'll get it for sure after the fact. And that's it, I can't do anything. I mean, it just sounds like fucking bullshit, it really does.
You already wasted $12. You want to go in the thousands, I get to get
And how do I know it's gonna go through? Like, I want them to look at me fucking face to face and tell me, okay, fine, if you guys want to do that, whatever. What?
I see it face to face.
Yeah, I'm gonna meet him right now. This is, but I'm not fucking, until this fucking shit gets cleared up, I'm not fucking bringing anything with me.
Listen, meet you in a public area, and I'll meet you there in an hour. I don't see one by yourself. And I'll try to talk to him about the price.
Alright, well, I'm sure he called me 15, 20.
I thought you told us earlier that it was at Chili's he told you, after he threatened you with a gun, that he was going to come with you to this meeting, not before the meeting at Chili's.
That's what he told me.
At Chili's?
At Chili's, I didn't want to go through with this, and he wanted to make sure I was going to be there.
You didn't hear him just say he was going to meet you before you met with Woody Jean right now?
At the time that all this is going on, I'm stressed. I mean, he had a gun on him, and he's threatening me. This is what I remember.
Gotcha.
Minutes ago, so I'm sure it's going to be like in 45 minutes he's going to be up here. Alright. Okay.
But if you have the $3 grand, I had like 2 on the side pocket or something.
I don't have that with me. I don't have it. I don't fucking sit there with fucking cash in my bag. And I can't keep pulling shit from all these fucking accounts. I can't do it. Like, you don't catch somebody off guard and say, hey, I need a couple of $1,000.
You're doing what you told me to do with one right now.
You didn't tell me that. You told me what I...
The phone, Dad, shut up, and you're fucking getting me more involved.
That's fine. We'll see what the fuck happens when I call.
That's the guy that's threatening you to kill you if you don't go through with it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Try to be downtown in 40 minutes. Alright?
Which way taken?
The Tahoe.
The Mercedes?
No, the Tahoe, the truck.
Which one is Dr. 10?
Truck.
Alright, the worst thing comes worse than you have to get back to 12-1 if you don't accept the $5 without payment.
Right. Okay. Or just give me the freaking shit that they were going to use. I freaking paid for it, didn't I?
Yeah, I will do that.
Okay.
I think most of the time they run from people.
Alright, well, I don't know. I'm going to have to, like, get my own, like, with this whole country, like, either I'll do it for the woman, because I'm not gonna do it. I can't. So, I'm just gonna, somebody or whatever that, like, I know, I'm just getting my own.
I think it's worth it.
What?
I think it's worth it.
Was that part of the script too, that you were going to go ahead and go find your own hitman to do this?
Yes,
Yeah, that was part of the script.
yes.
Alright, well, I'll see you down here in like 40 minutes. Okay, thanks.
Alright, today's date is going to be obviously 3rd, 2009. The time right now is 3:08 p.m.
Then you leave here and you go meet Mohammed at Chili's.
I'm not sure.
All right, well, you meet Mohammed at Chili's right before you meet with Woody Jean, is that correct?
Yes,
And through all this phone conversation that you had with Mohammed, you're terrified of him.
yes.
He's threatened you, and your husband's threatened you.
They put pressure on me, yes.
And how do you put pressure on you? What did they say?
They told me that I needed to do this, or
What's the pressure? What pressure they put on you? Or what?
they told me that I needed to do it. They're yelling at me and they're telling me that I need to do this
And where are they when they're yelling at you, telling you need to do this?
in person and on the phone
Where?
at my house and when Mohammed's calling me.
Okay, the same house you had to point out for Mohammed.
Yes, yes, that's correct.
Okay, that's part of the script, right?
The pressuring when he threatened me and everything, no.
No, that wasn't part of the script. But you're such a good actor, you were able to play through this whole scenario here without acting scared at all, right?
I was being told, he was telling me that I needed to do it, and so I did it.
Yeah, when did he do that on there? You didn't even know that was recorded.
We had so many phone calls. He called me and he did tell me that. We had a lot of phone calls.
You didn't even know that phone call was recorded.
There were a lot of phone calls. You're not playing nearly anywhere
I
of
understand that.
all the
You did
phone
not-
calls that we had.
You did not know that phone call was recorded, did you? Did you? You did not know that was recorded.
There were a lot of things that were
Can you answer the
taped.
question or not? Did you know that that phone call was recorded?
We had done according to the script, so
And you-
that was according to the
So is it a
script.
yes or no? Was that you knew that was recorded or you didn't know it was recorded? Which one is it?
Well, it was scripted. I can't account for Muhammad. I wasn't the one doing the recording.
You just don't want to answer it, right? Doesn't fit in your little fantasy?
No, but I can't answer for Muhammad.
Let's stay.
And then you go to Chili's on August 3rd, right? And you meet Muhammad there?
Yes,
And you drive separately from him.
yes.
And he, in front of people at the restaurant, threatens you with a gun. And threatens you and your family.
Yes.
And Mike is supposed to be involved in this as well.
He wasn't there that day.
But he's on board with threatening you. He's okay with it.
Yeah, because he wants to go through with all of this.
And then you remember meeting with Woody. And what did you know about Woody Jean?
that he's all these things, and that's what the meeting was.
And you're so scared you brought none of it.
No, I wouldn't bring my key or picture or anything, you know, of the alarm code or anything. I wouldn't want anything to happen to Mike. Why? I wouldn't actually give him those things.
This is a script. It's part of a play.
Right, but I don't know him, and so I'm not going to go ahead and give all those things.
Okay, but you gave the $1,200 in the pictures of your husband and the vehicles he drives in your house to Muhammad to get to this guy.
No, the money was for Muhammad.
And you wouldn't tell this guy, because you don't want him to know anything, you wouldn't tell this guy anything about Mike's daily activities or where Mike's going to be so that he could kill him, and you wouldn't tell him anything about the alarm and what to be careful for at your house. You wouldn't do that, would you, to the stranger?
It wasn't, none of it was real. I had no reason to believe that he was going to get hurt.
So this is part of the script as well, right?
I'm not providing anything. I didn't give him anything.
All right, let's listen.
No, it's fine. I think my cousin or why, I guess.
Yeah, I said that after by an office, so, he wants to give a caution or whatever, relax, there's no problem.
Okay.
There's no problem, just go out the way,
All right, cool.
All right? Okay, that's my first. 3,000. And then, I do my thing. All right, and I just got a little bit about the food. And then, I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna do it, and what exactly going to be done. All right? And, you got a recommendation, you know, what you want, what you know about. Who is your husband or something? Boyfriend? Nothing, how you have man? No, for real, but the thing is, you know, after I talked to you today, you know, this phone, garbage, you don't get to get a Uber. Okay, I just want to make sure that, you know, there's what you want.
Yeah.
All right? Okay. Because, you know, I was doing my duty favor, and I'm low on it, but it's really, really low. You know what I mean? So I just want to make sure that, you know, this is what you want. All right? So you want to do.
Do we really have to?
All right.
You know, it's just, I'd rather be as less, you know,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I know I got a picture of the house. What? You know, I know you have an alarm system.
We have alarm motion detectors and cameras.
You didn't know that this was recorded, did you?
No,
And when did you rehearse this?
I didn't rehearse that.
You didn't rehearse any of this stuff?
I didn't rehearse that.
So none of your meeting with Woody Jean was rehearsed. You made all this up as you went along.
I didn't give him anything that he provided.
No, well, if this is part of your role, when did you learn that this was part of your role? When were you supposed to do this?
Muhammad was putting pressure on me to go to that meeting, and so I went. I don't know. I was freaking out, and I was, you know, in a panic attack. I didn't really know. I didn't want to go to meet him.
So you're having a panic attack here, right?
Yeah, I felt really overwhelmed by everything. Muhammad's parked next to me, and there was a lot of pressure.
What was the copy of my alarm system? It's not a comment.
No, it's not like,
Not here?
no, it's not like a game company or anything like that.
So it's small.
Right.
All right.
But the thing is, like, in the middle of this week, he's going to be somewhere, and so I wanted to talk to you and see if something can possibly, you know what I mean?
Well, all right, so you don't want it at the house?
I'd rather, if I want to talk to you and see if something, you know what I mean, at that place, if you can do something like that, or if it can't be done, and, you know.
Well, that's the thing, which is why, you know, I want to know as much information as I could plan, you know, because I've already started planning that's going to be in the house, which is why I asked you for the key for the house. You know what I mean? Because my thing was to come here, you know, in and out, you know. If you're not comfortable with a lot of people, not comfortable with me, with you in the house, all that kind of stuff, you know, like a lot of personal information. You know what I mean? It still takes a little while I get in, you know. I don't care about the alarm system, I just got to know who it is, you know. And because a lot of times, you know, whatever I get from whatever money I get from you, most of it goes into, you know, planning and getting people to do stuff. You know what I
Okay.
That's just the way it
That
is.
sounds good, and we got everything going.
Well, it's up to you.
Why did you ask him how soon he can get everything going?
Mohammed was telling me what I needed to say.
Oh, he told you to say that, right?
There were when he
I've done so far. You know, I got 1,200 from you. All right? 1,200 went to buy my gun, went to buy my gun. Okay? And a couple hundred, you know, for other people to do things. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it. As a matter of fact, I've always spent more money, you know, just to get here.
Right.
You understand? Because I had to get this car, I had to get rid of this car, I had to get this one, I had to get rid of this home.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a lot more I have to do.
I know. I told you, like, I can't keep coming out of, like, I've come out of pocket a lot for, like, a lot of
That's fine.
everything.
That's fine.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't get into it, like,
No,
or whatever.
that's all right. Go ahead. Go.
Was Mohammed parked off to your right,
left.
to your left?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
So
fine.
it's kind of like, you know, I'm in a position where, like, I told you, like, I'm good for it, like, the day that you needed it, you know, it's like I came, I met that day, at the town, you know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of person that I am.
Okay.
Today, you threw me off guard when you called me at, like, 2, and it's not like, you know what I mean? I haven't stopped under my pillow.
Nah, I do. Because I was going to make sure as well.
That's you being terrified, right?
I couldn't show that I was terrified. Mohammed was telling me that I couldn't show that I was afraid, that I was terrified. I had to be cool as though, you know, I wanted to do this.
Here's what I'll do. I'll have to correct anything, because I was going to make half of me today, and half when it's done. That was the plan, you understand? You know, if you want to do it, do the back end, you know, you might want to have to get like maybe 1,000 or more, you know, top two, you understand? Because I have to spend $1,000, you know, between today and tomorrow, okay? If you want it done, because I was thinking, if you want it done tonight, tomorrow, or the week, I understand I could get it done by Wednesday if you want me to, you understand? But I got to do my homework, you know? I got to, you know exactly where the place is and how to get out of there, how to get in and out, you understand what the neighbors are. I got to call the cops, you know, report the shooting to see how fast they get to that location. There's a lot of stuff I got to do. It's going to cost me a lot of money, so I got to buy a phone to do it with an inverter phone later on. There's a lot I got to do to get to that. But no, I don't mind. You ain't got to do it now. As a matter of fact, you could leave the thing, you could leave, you know, my tenant at the house. Each one was at the house. He says he's going to be somewhere this week. If he's going to do it somewhere else, then I have to meet with you, you know, later on for cash. Understand? But you let me know. Give me the day, give me the time, give me the traffic.
But go ahead and just do it, like, out of the house, like, how to be, could you do it?
I could do it Wednesday morning at the house, because I was looking in newspapers here. There's been a lot of burglaries in this area. Right? It's not uncommon for someone to break into a house. Okay? It's going to go out into the house, you know, didn't think he was going to be home because everybody works in the neighborhood.
Right.
You know, if he's at work, no, he's not at work, and, you know, he gets two in the head. Let's say, you know, I take a couple things with me, break a couple windows, make it look like a robbery that went bad, and it's all over, and I'm gone out of there. Then I'm not going to be by myself. I'm going to have other people watching my back, you know, doing the thing, you know what I'm saying? Because he has guns in the house.
No.
All right.
He's right now, he's on probation, so there's a lot of people that don't like him.
What's his name?
Mike.
Mike, okay. Yeah.
So Mohammed told you to tell him that too?
To tell me what?
That he's on probation and a lot of people don't like him?
Yeah.
He told you.
That was, yeah.
That's true, right?
That he's on probation.
He's on probation,
Yes.
and you believe a lot of people didn't like him.
Speculation, foundation.
Oh,
You believed a lot of people didn't like him. That's a true statement, what you told that guy.
Yes.
All right, so that's how I'm going to do it. You know, so robbery went bad. That's the thing. Okay? Now, once that's done, you know, I'll wait a few days. I'm not going to call you right away because the police are going to be all over this motherfucker. Understand? The police are going to be asking you questions, although they know it's going to be obvious what it is, and they already know, you know what I mean? But, you know, they're going to ask questions because that's how But, you know, they're going to ask questions because that's how they got to do it. Okay? But I'll give you maybe 1 or 2 days. You know, but I'll be in contact with you. You know what I mean? When it's all done, you know, then I can tell you. I still got a couple things that I ask you. Now, this bill here, you know, you would, how much does it know?
He's my cousin, and, you know, it's like, he's the one who, you know what I mean?
Right, because I already talked to my man, and, you know, my man said he's good, you know what I mean? I'm just saying for you, you understand? Because I don't know how low you have the pressure. I'm saying because I don't want...
No, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm a lot tougher than what I look. I know you told me, I'm like, oh,
That was part of the script too?
Yeah.
And Muhammad told you to say that I'm a lot tougher than I look?
I had to go in that meeting with Woody Jean, and as though, you know, that's what I wanted to have done.
Gotcha. And did he tell you all this stuff at Chili's? Because you know, we know you never rehearsed it, so when did he tell you this stuff about what you were going to say to Woody Jean?
At Chili's, he went over everything with me, and he's parked right next to me to make sure. I mean, at that point, I'm terrified. He's right next to, you know, where we are.
but I'm not.
That's wrong, you're beautiful.
Thank you, but I'm not. I just need to make sure everything's going to be done.
All right, okay, so, you paid me back and how much you paid?
Will you pay back on the
Well, okay, when it's all done, I was going to get 3,000 from you today, and 3,000 when it's all done.
Right.
Okay? So it's enough to let go of that once, you know, just throw in maybe 1,000 more, 1,002. Okay, do 7 or 8 on 8,000, what's this month?
It's not in the summer.
Okay, 7 died. Okay, all right, now here's the thing, that's what I want to ask you again. All right, this phone after today, until I get a hold of you, after it's all done, I have nothing to get a hold of you, you understand? Because I'm trying to call you, if you call me this morning, I'll be working, you understand? Probably any more, you know, information. Okay, what's the name of the development? Okay, all right, that'll work, like, let's call it good.
Yeah, it's right over there.
All right, okay.
Is that where you live?
Can you replay it again?
When you looked over your shoulder and you said, I live right back there. Is that where you live?
In that, yeah, around that area, yes.
I want to meet you here so that then you can see, you know what I mean?
What's the husband?
No, on Wednesday we're leaving.
He's leaving on
We're
Wednesday?
leaving Wednesday.
What time is it leaving?
Between 8:15 and 8:30 in the morning.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to know, like, do you want to come to my house Wednesday, or do you just want to, you know what I mean? I don't know what kind of fees you do, whatever. He's going to be going to the bank on Wednesday. I don't know if, you know, yeah, I don't know if that's in public for you, or if that's
What's it doing?
he has to pull out money from his business partner.
And Muhammad told you to say all this stuff too?
It was things that were just being said. I mean, I didn't even, he says my street address. It was things that, you know, are just being said.
So you're telling us you're terrified of Muhammad, you're terrified of your husband, and you don't want to tell this guy any details about your life, but you're willing to tell him that your husband's going to go get $10,000 out of a bank at 8:15.
Oh, I don't know. No, that wasn't, that's not true.
Really? All right, listen.
Oh, he's not gonna, okay, so he doesn't have any money at the house for that?
He's like hard cash. He's going and pulling out the money because he has to make it look like it's coming from an account from his business partner.
Okay.
His business account.
How much money?
He's pulling out, I think, around $10.
Somebody let me do that.
Just like what I was telling you, he's
All
going
right.
to the bank on Wednesday and he's pulling out money. Like, I know what bank he's going to.
What bank is it?
In Boca. Are you familiar with Boca?
I could find out.
I know exactly
I've
what
worked in Boca
and
before.
what time he's going to be there. And he'll be there early. He'll be there with the bank open.
All right, what's the name of the bank going?
So the bank that he's going to is in Big Spring.
In Boca, you know what, after that?
Yeah, I know exactly where, what time, everything.
Okay.
So I don't know if, you know,
Well, I
the
know.
problem with this though is that from where the bank is to where the partner's office is, it's literally like next door to each other.
So I guess that's true, huh?
No,
That's not true?
No.
You didn't say that stuff?
I did say it, but it wasn't true.
Oh, it wasn't true?
No.
Oh, so you made that stuff up? He wasn't going to the bank at 8:15
No.
to go to his parking
No,
place? He
no,
wasn't doing that?
no,
Okay, why did you make that up?
because Muhammad told me
Oh,
to.
he told you to say that?
Yes.
But you would have to get back in the car to go there. I know where the office is at and everything like that. Like I can show you where everything's at.
His office, his department?
Yeah.
All right.
But now I don't know if that's like too public for you or...
Well, I mean, I could do it like that, But it is public, I'll get the money, but the thing about it is that it's hard to get away. If it's in both, I'll post it from like 95 or something.
You're close to the turnpike.
The bank is? Bank of America, what level is it on?
441.
441, close to that, 2 bucks to it too. Because, you know, I need somewhere to get out fast.
Right.
Okay, turnpike, what level is it on?
It's on Glaze and 441.
Where is it, 441? Bank of Where is it, 441? Bank of America.
American traffic.
And where is Spartan's office at?
This is 441. This is Glaze. 441 is here, the bank is here, and then the next building over on 441 is where the partner's office is.
Okay, so the partner's definitely on 441,
Yeah.
79.
Is that where his partner's office is?
Yes.
Well, see, that's the truth, but the Bank of America.
Right, it was easier to remember, like I said earlier to you, if we mixed the two.
Gotcha. So some are lies and some are truthful.
Right.
Exactly.
What's the name like the business?
It's in the building, like I can get you the building number and everything like that. I know where everything's out, but like the exact,
First floor,
like,
second floor, whatever like that.
That's what
Okay,
it is.
all right, he won't make it to the building. And he's leaving the house by 8:30, he's gonna go get $10,000.
yeah.
All right.
At that bank though, he's leaving our house and then going to Bogan to make it. That's why I thought that like,
What kind of car does he drive?
he'll probably be in that Tahoe reason.
Well, it's his house?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
He'll probably be in that Tahoe and he has a Porsche that I'm pretty sure he's going to be in that Tahoe.
Okay.
And he just had surgery, so, you know, I'm pretty sure he'll be in the Tahoe.
So I get the money. Okay, all right.
I think it's,
Mohammed told you to tell him all that stuff too. The cars he's going to be in, the surgery, all that stuff.
Yeah.
that would benefit you because obviously, like, you know what I mean?
No, either way, the thing is, there's more risky doing it in public like that, but I don't mind this guy.
Because I'll have it for sure, because the friends have to him, the partners have to him, you know, when is coming.
Okay.
And then from there, I know where he's going right after that. But he won't have money anymore. He's going from the bank to there, and then that's it. You're not going to catch him anymore with money.
Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. If I don't do it now, because, you know, the thing is, I can, you know, I don't want to get greedy, but, you know, if I get something else, $10,000 on it, and I'm interested.
Exactly.
It's only going to make it look like, you know, he has more reason to be wild because of that amount of money.
Right.
Right, and look like that's his best partner, the only partner knows he's going to get.
Exactly.
All right? So what I'm going to do is that, you know, I'm going to try to change my plans a little bit, and then try to, you know, do it with the whole thing. You know, if I can't come through with it by Wednesday, then it's going to have to be at the house. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm more interested in that additional $10,000 I'm get from him. You know what I mean? Because, you know, that's not going to come out of your pocket.
So what do you need then? Do you want to go ahead and drive by that area and like scout it out, or what are you trying to do?
Right now?
Yeah. You should smoke it, because I'm not letting him smoke in the truck.
No, I think I'll find out. As long as I know where the bank is, as long as I know what car's going to go out, I'm going to have people following from the house to the bank.
Right.
All right? And then he's going to be on.
You know he's going to have it, that's what I'm saying, you know, it's like, you got him at the house, it's like, you know, it's like, but, I mean, I'm not saying shut up my house, but still, like, if you go and, you know what I
Doesn't keep
mean?
any, like, you know, large amount of money in the house?
No.
Okay, all right, okay.
I'll figure that out. I mean, nobody knows. Everybody, when you come to my house, you think, you know what I mean, there's a lot of money there, there's a lot of stuff there, whatever.
Yeah.
But in reality, you know,
All right.
the only thing would be, you know, is like we put a fucking porch or something, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's, you know.
I hear you. All right, okay. I'm going to plan that way, then I'm going to do the bank. The thing is, you know, you got to understand, because after today, you know, I can't get a hold of you. If it doesn't work out the way I want him to stay, or, you know, the way
Are we looking at Wednesday morning or Wednesday?
yeah, Wednesday is the day when I'm going to go for the money. If the money doesn't work, then I have to do it before then. You know what I mean? Like I said, I have a small window, you know, at the house or the money. If I don't get it by the money, then I'm done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, I always get paid.
Right.
Because, you know, so that's my way. It's a short window, so I got plenty, I got people up here.
So Wednesday, you know, he's leaving 8:15, 8:30.
Oh, you know,
He wants to be at the bank when the bank opens at 9.
Okay.
And then he's going to go and see.
Okay, can he walk from the bank to is it like walking distance, or he got to drive to your partner's office?
No, he's going to get him a truck and drive.
Okay, all right,
He'll get him a truck and he'll drive.
okay,
Sure.
all right, okay, want to put it.
But what I wanted to say to you is that I wanted to make sure, like, for example, like, okay, this shit doesn't happen Wednesday, Thursday morning, for example, you don't come and I'm there, you know?
What the hell?
Right, like, I want to make sure, like...
Listen, if it doesn't happen by Wednesday, all right, I'm not coming. What I'm going to do is that if I don't get it done, you're going to get the money back. If it doesn't happen, and if it doesn't happen by Wednesday, I'm going to have to call you from another phone and, tell you a whole different thing. You understand? But I'm not going to do anything that you don't know. I mean, so you...
What money were you going to get back if you didn't pay him any money already?
There wasn't any money. Different things. We were just saying things to say things. It was
part of the plan.
Nothing was done.
The client is not going to do anything without your approval. You understand? So, yeah, where's it going to be?
We have a dentist appointment right across the street at 9:30 in the morning.
And at that point,
So he's
is
going
he
to
leaving town? Is he going somewhere? Is he leaving town?
No, that was that.
Okay, all right. So he's going to come back home.
Right, he's going to come back.
That's not coming back home with the money. Partner's going to be...
No, he's meeting the partner, and then from there he's going to...
Okay, all right. I'm going to try to do it focus. Because I've been planning for, over here. Just, I got to do my homework and come
No,
back.
that would be ideal because it would make it seem like that's the reason why.
Right.
No, okay.
I'm just, thanks, man. All right.
Is that when Muhammad came and asked if you wanted a drink?
Right.
Okay, you were terrified of him.
Yeah, he's coming and he's checking up on, what's going on to make sure.
Gotcha. So for that 2 seconds that you rolled the window down and said, no, we're good, and put it back up.
Absolutely, I was terrified.
Nice dude. All right, Wednesday, $10,000, right?
Yeah.
And, all right, he's going to be in that car. And so you just got surgery with him?
His back right here.
All right, okay. So you're not going to be able to move him.
He won't be able to, he walks fine and everything like that, but it's going to be like a little bit of a struggle.
Okay.
Whereas here, like all this here, all these here are like tender points.
Okay. All right. Okay. If it's not done by Wednesday, then I'll call it. If it's done by Wednesday, the only thing you're going to hear from me is to collect, all right? Which is why I say that in between now and when it's done, you're not going to have an option to change your mind. Even if you change your mind, I'm talking to all
There's no changing, there's no, determined already. I'm positive, 5,000% sure, I was stressing when he was coming, I come up here, and then I'm looking at the time, I'm it doesn't start, he's not coming, he's not good, it's all this stuff or whatever, no, when I plan to do something, I'm going to do it. As soon as he told me, listen, I need the money from you, I went, I grabbed it right away, we were good to go.
That's all Muhammad told you to say, right?
Yes, he told me to say that.
Yeah, 5,000% sure, ready to go.
I needed to project confidence, and yeah, that's what he told me. I needed to make it look believable.
You're not going to have a problem, you're not going to have an issue. You know what I mean? Nothing of nothing.
Do you have any money on you right now you could afford or anything? You don't have them, just saying.
I didn't bring it.
Okay, no big deal. It's all right. Okay, so, about the key now.
I found out that I didn't make a copy of it. Because I wanted to talk to you about Wednesday to see if Wednesday was going to work out better than
Wednesday's going to work out
I
better.
think the house because the thing is that I don't want to do the phone, like I told you, I have cameras. They don't record, but I have cameras on the front and on the back, and then I have the motion detector. So it's like even if you go with the key, the sensor's going to go off, and then he's going to see on our TVs, you know what I mean, stuff like exactly. So I didn't want to fuck you with either, and then all of a sudden, you know what I mean, have an issue.
Okay, what floor is it on? Is it on the first floor or?
There's 3-story tunnels. When you walk in, it's an office.
So, all right, so the whole 3 stories is you guys?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
The whole 3 stories is up.
All right, you got the key with you? I suppose what kind of key it is?
Just the regular, I have it in the truck.
You know the name of the napkin? Just, I don't want, right now I'm planning for the same thing, this thing, the last minute, things not going to work out. I just want to make sure that, I get it done. You know what I mean?
walk the dog at a certain time, you leave the front door locked.
Okay. Are you going to be home Wednesday morning?
Wednesday morning, yeah, like you told the other Wednesday.
Okay. You go jogging in the morning? You go to the gym in the morning?
I was going to the gym, yeah. I mean, if I go tomorrow, it's not going to look weird.
Okay.
I go down on a regular basis.
All right, Wednesday morning, go to the gym. All right, because if I can do the fence thing, then I want to do it at the house. I don't want to get in the house.
Around 6:30 to 7 o'clock, we always walk the dog in the morning.
Okay.
And
Okay.
walk the dog across, like over where the lake is, and our door is always unlocked.
I'll be in the house.
Is that true?
We both go to the gym.
No, is that true that he walks the dog across by the lake and leaves the front door open?
We both do.
Is it true that he does?
Yes, we both do.
About 6:30 Wednesday morning. 6 o'clock.
Okay, if you decide that you're not going to do that,
Well, that's the thing. Listen, by the time you get back to the gym, you're gonna find two things: dead body in the house, all right, or nothing.
alright.
Okay, if it's nothing, then
So always the dog is 30. And then you know what day.
I'll be over there. I'll make sure, I'll watch you walk in the house. And I got to do hours before.
Right.
Make sure it's all done, so.
And then you know, to worst case, he's going to be at the bank. And
That's the thing, Lake Road, 441, Bank of America, right? So that was hours.
Okay, and then right even know where I live, if you decide that you're going to go to the house.
Yeah, you just told me. What's the house? That's all the picture.
But I have a bunch of house records. You know which one mine is?
What?
Yeah.
Okay. As a matter of fact, I'll pick this from my bed right now.
Alright.
1329, looks at the lake, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the name of the road? Like what is that? Some,
Yeah. You're going to, and this is what you're going to go. Oh, so you're already on fire.
Yeah, I went through there.
Wait, Pat, you're in the field. Which way do you want to go?
I'm not going to, I think the first one. Now, this one right here is the first one down.
Okay, you're going to go down the first one, make a left,
Yeah.
and then there's going to be like a one-way ramp. Keep going,
Right.
and then you're going to U-turn.
Okay.
And then it's going to be on the right-hand side, be at the paddock.
Yeah, that's all right. That's what it was. Yeah. 1329, yeah. All right.
Thanks so much, I guess.
You're here.
Oh, yes, okay.
All right.
You remember getting a call from Woody Jean the next day?
Yes.
So did you go talk to Mike after this?
I told him I was upset and I didn't want to talk, and I just told him that I did exactly what Muhammad told me to do.
And did Mike ask you what was it? I mean,
I was so upset. Muhammad just threatened me. He threatened my family. He threatened to kill us. I wasn't in the I'm sorry, what is it?
Well, why did you go talk to Mike if you already told us that Mike was threatening to harm you?
I didn't talk to him. I told him I did what Muhammad told me to do, and that was it.
And then why didn't you talk to Mike? Did he threaten to hurt you again?
I just told you, I was so upset at everything that had happened. My life just got threatened. My family's life got threatened. I wasn't, in the mood to be talking, especially if, he's on the same page with Muhammad.
So then you get a call from Woody Jean the next day, right? And you answer it.
Yes,
Why'd you answer it?
because Muhammad had told me. There are so many calls that you're not seeing that, or you are seeing that, you know, aren't recorded, and Mohammed's calling me, and he's putting pressure on me, he's threatening me, he's the one telling me what to say and what to do.
Transcriber. Today's date is August 4th, 2009. Time by my watch is 14:01, 2:01 p.m. This recording is a control phone call to phone number 561-703-9453 in reference to ongoing investigation by Detective Alex Marino.
Is that your phone number?
Things not going to work. Check it out. It's no good. So, you got to be up by 6. All right, make sure you're up by 6.
Alright, I'll let you know.
All right? Yep.
And then the next day, on August 5th in the morning, you left your house, didn't you?
Yes.
Around 6 o'clock.
Yes.
And then you already told us remember that?
Yes.
That morning on August 5th.
Yes.
It was no longer a joke.
No.
No longer reality TV.
No.
Now, everybody had to know what was going on, right? So you can get out of jail.
The police took our presentation that we did and used it to wrongly prosecute me for something.
Hello? Honestly, I can't help you. Don't you understand what just happened?
What they're saying is not true.
How is that possible?
Yeah, how is that possible?
What do you mean I'm calling him for help?
How is it possible if what the police are saying is not true, when it is true? You claim that it was all made up as part of the script. How
And it was for a presentation. He's the only one that could clear my name, him and Mohammed, and I'm asking him for help to come forward and tell everybody what actually happened. I'm asking him for help.
Good.
You're not sitting here. It's not true. It's not possible. You would...
Did I hear it and see it?
I heard what you heard. It's not true. I heard what you heard and I saw everything they showed you, they showed me.
And how are you telling me that?
I
It's not
give
true.
you my word that it's not true.
What do you, Dad, I couldn't help you if I wanted to.
Like, please, I need to tell you, can you please help me? That's not true.
Your brother was here and I spoke to him and he's going to go talk to your mom. I called them for you already. Right?
This is not true.
I understand it too, but how do you explain what I saw and heard?
Like, when I on my phone call, you know more than anybody, it's not true. Just give me time so I can talk to you.
Well, it didn't really say. I saw it. I heard it.
I believe that. I heard your voice. How can you believe it? That is the point. I heard you say it. It's not. I heard what you heard, and it's...
And now you come into court, and your whole goal in this thing was to get publicity. Is that true? To become a reality TV star? Is that your goal?
It was to get an act.
Millions of people see you, so you become famous and wealthy, right?
Yes.
And then you complain about getting publicity, right? Is that what you're saying? And now you're complaining that you got publicity out of it?
It's threatening me. There are so many calls that I don't want to do this, and where are those calls? Everything that's in my defense isn't here. You're playing things, but what about all the 500?
Mr. Dippolito, Mr. Williams didn't play the rest of that jailhouse call, did he?
He didn't.
Okay, what did Mike Dippolito
He said that if I transferred the property to his name, he would help me.
Right, so this is a guy that we're supposed to believe was the property into his name, right?
Yes.
So that's a possible motive for him to throw you under the bus in this plan, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I play for the judge.
To keep my mouth shut.
Hold on.
Well, that's okay, Your Honor. What did he tell you?
Redirect, you can answer.
Okay. What did Mike Dippolito tell you when you were asking him for help?
To keep my mouth shut. He said in a couple of days it would be over.
And what did you interpret that to mean?
That he's going to come forward and say that all of this was part of a presentation.
So we're clear in this case. Did your plan for a script turn to something other than a script? Were you afraid during this undercover investigation?
Yes, I was afraid.
And was your behavior in the videotapes that the court is I have no further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Quickly, or you may step down.
Judge, can I replay the rest of the tape, please?
You still want on the stand?
Yeah.
For purposes of
Yeah.
completeness. You're asking for recross? Recross. And then he gets redirect.
I just want to play the rest of the tape while she's up there. I think the TV has to be on, Judge.
No, it's connected. It's up on the last screen.
Oh, it is, but you don't have any sound, right? I guess the only speakers are mine.
No, the only sound is there, but...
I don't know why the sound...
It's plugged in. On both screens.
Yeah, I've got sound everywhere, but no sound here. some reason it's not playing. That's all right, Jeff.
Okay, additional witnesses from the defense.
I'd like to call Frank Ramsey to the stand, Your Honor.
Frank Ramsey. Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. Ramsey.
Good afternoon.
You and I met for the first time a couple months ago when I took your deposition. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Great. Can you tell us when you first started working in law enforcement? Strike that. What were your job duties with the New York City Police Department?
I did patrol work, uniform services.
And how long did you do patrol work with the New York City Police Department?
Until 1988, 4 years.
What was your job title at Boynton Beach PD?
Police officer.
And over the course of your, how long? In August of 2009.
Yes, I was.
Tell the court briefly about your specialized training on working with informants.
Well, I had many years of informant training back in the 90s. I worked our Vice Narcotics Unit, and we receive a lot of additional training. We go to schools, put on. I would say I have probably about 500 hours of training in confidential informants as far as control and documentation.
And over the course of your career, prior to August 2009, you had personally worked with and supervised approximately 100 informants. Is that true?
True.
And tell us a little bit about training by the Boynton Beach PD.
They have a policy and procedure?
Putting aside the policies and procedures, okay?
No.
Right. Boynton Beach PD doesn't provide any sort of training whatsoever on the use of undercover informants, correct?
Yeah, there's no in-house training related to that, no.
You have to go out on your own and get your specialized training, right?
That's correct.
And you did that, right?
Yes.
In fact, you were probably the most experienced law enforcement personnel at Boynton Beach PD in August 2009 in the handling of informants. Isn't that true?
I could have.
When did you become a sergeant at Boynton Beach PD?
1991.
And back in 2009, did Boynton Beach Police Department have a policies and procedures manual?
Yeah, they have, it's not a manual, it's on
So back in 2009, at Boynton Beach PD, if I was hired to work there as a detective, I wouldn't be provided any kind of written book with any procedures, correct?
Not a written book, no.
Right, I would have to go back somehow in a computer system and figure out what all the directives are at Boynton Beach PD. Isn't that true?
Yeah, you log in, you're assigned to log on.
That you, Frank Ramsey, are reading all the directives that apply at the police department. Isn't that true?
Yeah, no one's looking over your shoulder, correct.
And in fact, when a new directive comes out, it's emailed to all the folks at Boynton Beach PD, right?
Yes.
And you click on, and then you could just click a button saying you looked at it, right?
Correct, and you do a digital signature that you reviewed it, yes.
Bingo, done. Nobody comes over and says, hey, have you read the new directive on the use of informants, correct?
That's correct.
Nobody comes over and says, hey, we're going to do a training class next week on it, the proper use of informants, correct?
Correct.
And if there's an amendment to a pre-existing directive, it's incumbent upon the police officer to go back and figure out what the prior directive was, correct?
That's correct.
I'm going to ask you a couple questions about, based on your experience, what you're supposed to be doing when you use an informant in an undercover sting operation. What is the first thing that you should do when you are utilizing an informant to determine whether that informant is reliable and credible?
Well, it's not a one-sentence answer. There's a lot more to do than, first of all, when a person comes to you as an informant or wants to be an informant, you have to look at their motives, why they're there in the first place. So a person wants nothing in return, they just want to help solve a crime. But if we're going to use the scenario with a drug-related case, a person is looking for some sort of what's the word I'm looking for, agreement that in lieu of their services, that you won't charge them with certain other or be investigated for. And in those cases, you would work with the state attorney's office and sit down with that person. And like I said, the process initially on any informant is to determine who they are, what their background is, what their motivation is, and then is there any warrants or any probationary issues, because in order say this person is going to become an informant, as you mentioned, the reliability. How do we corroborate their reliability? Well, obviously, if they've testified before, worked before with another department, have any other credible So in a drug case, you tell me you could buy drugs from House X. Okay, well what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a wire on you. We're going to set up surveillance. We're going to search you. And everything's observed and documented accordingly. That's your reliability now being established. So when someone walks in the door, we don't have any credibility factors up front. We don't know anything about them. What the motivation is, get that all cleared up, and then there has to be a clear line to establish their credibility and pass reliability. So therefore, in this case, once you came back with the drugs, I would now be able to establish so that it's a building block, it's a process.
Right. And is there, well, in this, you were involved in the Dalia Dippolito investigation.
Yes, I was.
All right, and you understood that this gentleman named Muhammad possibly wanting to harm her husband, right?
Correct.
Now, what would be the first thing you would do to vet this confidential civilian informant?
Well, first of all, as I said, we're and what his criminal history may or may not be. While that's happening, we're also trying to establish who the would-be suspect is and who the would-be victim is, to establish, is there such a person named Dalia? Does that person live in this area? Does she exist? Who is the supposed victim? Where do they live? What are their that are needed to be investigated because someone's life is in peril.
Right, now, wouldn't you want to know, Mr. Ramsey, the last name of the suspect?
Of course.
And you're aware of this case that Mr. Shihadi walked into the Boynton Beach PD, meets with Detective Marino and says, hey, I know this gal named Delilah. She wants to harm her husband. Hey, what's her last name? I don't.
How am I supposed to identify who the would-be suspect is without any further information than Delilah?
Well, what do you want to know about the suspect? Why is that important?
Because if let's say the name was John Doe, right, in this case, and I was able to pull John Doe up on the computer, and John Doe had violence, of course it starts to run to the story possibly putting someone's life in peril. With the name Delilah, I have no clue where to start.
Right, and you don't even know before you hire on this undercover informant whether Delilah has a criminal record, correct?
Correct.
You don't even know whether this woman Delilah has been subjected to any kind of criminal investigation, right?
No, we have no information. Correct.
And did the Boynton Beach PD have any information on the alleged victim?
No.
When Shahadi walks in?
No.
And you need to know that. Because if the Boynton Beach PD truly felt like Mike Dippolito and his life was in danger, they would want to let him know, right?
Of course.
And isn't it true in this investigation that not one single time did anybody at Boynton Beach PD ever pick
Correct.
Now, if something came back on a background check, whether anybody at Boynton Beach PD bothered to retrieve any of the court-related documents regarding a domestic violence charge against Mr. Shadi.
I do not have any information related to that, sir.
But you would do that, right?
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about what your protocol has been over the years, working with 100 informants, when interviews with that informant.
Yeah, not necessarily your initial contact with the person. You know, when they walk in the door, I mean, you just meet them for the first time. To break out a recorder is not practical. Through it again with you, ask you questions, and then obviously swear the person in on a recorded device.
When were you first contacted about this investigation regarding a gal named Delilah?
Detective Ace Brown called me. I was the on-call supervisor that night. Woman that wanted to have her husband killed. So at that point, being it's unusual to get that type of event, I responded to the police station.
Now, what's a confidential informant agreement?
It's basically a dossier, about 4 or 5 forms, all your pedigree information from your Social Security, date of birth, we fingerprint to add that into the file if it's done correctly. You also have next of kin, all the other stuff, criminal history, background check. It's basically a little portfolio we would put together on the person.
It's pretty extensive, isn't it?
Yes.
It's many pages long, right?
Yes.
It sets forth the parameters of a relationship between the detective or sergeant and the undercover informant, right?
Correct.
Isn't it important, Mr. Ramsey, for you as a law enforcement officer in every provision that he or she is signing on to?
Yes.
It is your custom and practice to go through each paragraph of that confidential informant package with the informant so that he or she walked into this courtroom a month ago and he told the judge under oath that Detective Marino only spent a few minutes on this confidential informant packet and didn't explain any of the provisions in the confidential informant package. You would be critical of that, correct?
If that were true, yes.
If that's true. And that would not the confidential informant to have an extended agreement.
Because it needs to be clearly outlined to the individual that they don't have police power. Other known felons. I mean, it's a detailed list. I can't give you every one, but basically it's to make sure they understand when they leave that room, they can't do anything about that case without your direct involvement and direction.
Right, great point. If you're supervising an informant, you've got
the informant does or doesn't do under your direction is of evidence. So if the person makes contact with an individual without our knowledge, and let's just say a shooting occurs, very detailed, don't do these things, don't interact with these people, period, unless we are with you supervising this incident.
Okay, I'd like to show you a document. Madam Clerk, may I inquire what exhibit number was the exhibit 6? Maybe it's the July 23rd, 2007, correct? You wanna look at it? Thank you. Thank you. Exhibit 4. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Thank you. Mr. Ramsey, you could take a look at Exhibit 4 and then tell us just briefly what it is.
That's our Point Beach Police Department Index Code 1622, July 23rd, 2007.
Right, so this I want to refer you to page 3 of Exhibit 4, and you see down paragraph 3.
The highlighted section?
Yeah, can you read that for me?
An informant will be deactivated when he or she has the ability to furnish information or services of use to the police department, when he or she is no longer willing to cooperate with the department.
Okay. And that's called deactivation, correct?
Yes.
And the third word in that sentence says will, right?
Correct.
It does. How many years did you have in law enforcement?
27.
All right. In your 27 years of experience in law enforcement and over 100 times working with an informant, if an informant told you, hey, Sergeant Ramsey, I don't want to be involved in this undercover operation anymore. I don't want to do it. What would you do?
Well, I'd have to allow them not to do it anymore.
Okay.
Cooperate, we can't force them to.
So if Mr. Shahadi walked in here a month ago He's the undercover informant in the Dippolito investigation. And he testified in his courtroom several times. I don't want to be involved in this investigation anymore. The proper protocol that Detective Marino should have followed under Boynton Beach Police Department policies and procedures is to deactivate and remove Mr. Shahade from the investigation, correct?
Correct.
May I have that? Based on your 20 suspect.
Yes.
And in this case, we have evidence of over 560 phone calls between Shahade, the informant, and Dippolito, the suspect, that were not recorded. You would be critical of that, correct?
Yes.
And why are you critical of that?
Because I don't know what was being said, and again, everything we do with an informant we want to use for evidentiary purposes. We want to be able to corroborate it and state it's true.
Why do you want to know, why do you want to have the phone
themselves, and the informant is following our protocol, it's good for us. If the informant is not following the protocol and saying things that he shouldn't say, it's also good for us because then we can, bring the informant in and explain that they're stepping.
And also because if the suspect is saying to the informant, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm scared, or I don't want to be part of this anymore, you would want to know that as well.
Of course, yes.
And why do you want to know that?
Because at that point, if the suspect is now stepping away from what we would consider in this case a solicitation crime, we would have to then act on what we had at that point, whether we had probable cause or not, to continue the investigation and take the person into custody or continue the investigation. So yes, it's critical to know what the suspect is saying.
You know what a debriefing is, right?
Yes, sir.
What's a debriefing in the context of using an informant in an undercover sting operation?
Well, the debrief, before the actual sting operation would occur, the informant is, given the plan. That they're, like I said, searched, make sure they have no types of monies or any other types of evidence, drugs, any type of contraband on them at all. They are then provided with the investigative funds to be used to make the purchase. They are given the route to take. Contraband, weapons, etc. And then we have to have eyes on them, and they're explained, this is what you do. You go here, you're going to get $40 worth of whatever it is, and that's it. And when you come back a specific way. So it's important that they be debriefed up front to know. We debrief again and go over any possible changes that may have occurred, things that went on according to plan. Maybe the wired device that was on the informant stopped working. Maybe one of our surveillance teams lost sight of them. That's what the second debrief would be for.
Okay. Would you agree with me, Mr. Ramsey, that at no time should an informant be in the field on their own willy-nilly doing their own thing?
Yes, I would agree with that.
And why is that important?
Because, like you just said, I don't mean to laugh, it was funny when you said willy-nilly, but when someone's running around out there on their own devices, they're not working in concert with law enforcement, anything they're doing is subject to suspicion on my part.
And when you agree the proper protocol in supervising an informant is to not allow them to do anything unless they are supervised or controlled. In fact, that is in the confidential informant package, correct?
Yes, it is.
Everything you do with an informant is critical, correct?
Yes.
an informant making 680 phone calls in 4 days, that means they weren't controlled, correct?
Correct.
Well, let me ask you this instead. Do you believe it's appropriate for a police if he or she does not continue to participate in an undercover investigation?
No, that's not legal.
That's completely off limits, correct?
Correct.
All right. So, again, I want you to assume truthfully, Shahadi's in here a few weeks ago. He says he was told by Boynton Beach PD, if you don't continue on this undercover operation, if you don't set up meetings,
As you said, if it's true, it would be inappropriate, yes.
it's unacceptable, right?
Correct.
And it violates all Boynton Beach Police Department policy and common sense as well, correct?
Yes.
Ahmed Shahadi, you were part of that, right?
Correct.
Right. What was your involvement in the Chili's meeting?
I was on a perimeter unit with Sergeant Bonifair.
On the perimeter, you mean outside?
Outside, yes, outside the...
Shahadi and Dippolito inside Chili's restaurant, right?
Yes.
Right. Now, we have two versions in this case about whether Shahadi was wired before he went into Chili's. Let me talk about the first version. I want you to assume that Shahadi was not wired when he went into the Chili's restaurant to have a 40-minute encounter with Dalia Dippolito. You would have a problem with that, correct?
Yes.
And why should Mohammed Shahadi have been wired when he went into the Chili's restaurant?
For control and evidence.
Because you want to know what they're talking about, right?
Yes.
You want to hear what's being said, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And why do you need to hear what's being said? Why is that so important in this investigation?
Again, it's all going to come down to being part of evidence. If the suspect is making incriminating statements to further a crime, it's going to be important later on in our court proceeding.
And we don't have 1 second. All right, now let's talk about the excuse that was given for not wiring Shahadi when he went into Chili's. You learned through Sergeant Sheridan about why?
Actually, Sergeant Bonifair was in charge of the equipment.
Well, in your course of working 20 some odd years with Boynton Beach PD, it's customary for your folks to pick the phone up if there's truly a malfunction and call Delray Police Department, Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department and say, hey, here, right?
Yes.
That's done all the time, right?
Yes.
All right. A malfunction of Shahadi's wire before he went into Chili's.
Upon knowing that you have an equipment failure of that magnitude, which is important and critical in this type of meeting situation, it should have been delayed. The informant should have been controlled by the agent and told to contact the suspect on a recorded line with the agent present and delay the meeting while we got the equipment from an adjoining agency.
To approach Sergeant Sheridan to express how you felt this should go down, correct?
Yes, I did request that we delay the meeting and reach out to a Delray or PBSO and get another unit.
Right. You're the guy at Boynton Beach PD with the most experience in dealing with informants. And you take it upon yourself to go over and find Sheridan.
I'm actually on the phone initially at the scene with Sergeant Bonfair and said, we do not have a wire for the informant. We need to delay, and maybe we need 2 hours. I'll reach out to Delray. He told me to come into the station. It's hard to remember everything.
Because I'm object to hearsay.
Oh, did he tell you it's my fucking case?
It's the same, it wasn't, it was...
Did he curse at you?
Am I allowed to answer the question, Judge?
Well, if there's not objection to the pending question, I sustain objection.
Okay. All right, so go ahead, I'm sorry.
Did he curse at you?
He got upset and used foul language, yes.
Right.
Investigation.
Right. Basically shrugged you off, right?
That is true.
Yeah. He wanted to make sure that he got this...
I objected to this. I don't know why you still going on with it.
No, I'll withdraw the question. I'll withdraw the question. Yeah, I'll withdraw it. Boynton Beach PD, I think, has 17 police officers surrounding Chili's restaurant, right?
Yeah, we had no emergency situation that would have prevented a delay.
Right, that's my point. She's sitting, she meaning Dippolito, is sitting in Chili's with Shihadi. And on this scenario, we're saying he's not there. And you have everything under control because you've got all the whole perimeter surrounded. You're not aware of anybody else she's speaking to about killing her husband, right?
Correct.
All right. So it's not an emergency, and in your estimation, there was time to delay this a couple hours and get a wire somewhere else, get Shihadi wired to preserve the integrity of this investigation. Isn't that true?
That is true.
And it didn't happen, did it?
No, it did not.
Let's talk about the other. He was wired. And before I ask you about that, you personally never observed or patted down Shihadi before he went into Chili's, correct?
I had no physical or visual contact with him at all, no.
Okay, so your belief that he may have not been wired was based solely on what Bonnefaire told you, correct?
That's correct, yes.
You didn't? Okay, so Shihadi has a different version. One would expect that that audio recording of the conversation would be preserved into evidence, correct?
That would be correct.
So we should have that audio recording of the 40-minute conversation between Shihadi and Dippolito as part of this investigation, if he was wired, correct?
If he was wired and it was functioning, we would have that recording in evidence, yes.
All right, great, because the proper police procedure at Boynton Beach PD in August 2009 is to so if Shihadi's wired, goes into Chili's, the wire doesn't malfunction, and Five, 2009.
The stage crime scene, I don't have a report, I'm sorry.
Well, it was a couple days after these tapes between Dippolito and Woody Jean, right?
Yes.
Now, wouldn't you agree with me that prior to the stage crime scene, Boynton Beach PD already had do a staged crime scene, correct?
Well, I would disagree as far as the need.
The purpose
Get the suspect to believe the act was carried out, then get her back to the police station and have the detectives have the opportunity to talk with her for a period of time to elicit a confession was the goal. That was the goal. That's why I would disagree it wasn't a need. Did we need it as far as writing a probable cause affidavit? No. But to cinch up the case for further prosecution in court,
what happened then at the police station? At some point, were you in the police station after Ms. Dippolito was brought over there?
after she went into booking,
Late in the day.
yep.
Boynton Beach PD did not need to create a staged crime scene in order to form a basis to arrest Ms. Dippolito. And you were at the staged crime scene.
Yes.
And did you sign a waiver to appear on cops?
I believe so. I believe we all had to.
Okay. Do you know if Whitty Jean ever signed a waiver to appear on cops?
I couldn't.
When you were over at the police station, did you observe Sergeant Sheridan questioning Ms. Dippolito?
No.
Did you have a problem with anything that
You have to tell me the relevance.
Well, it goes to violation of policies and procedures.
Well,
Goes to
a violation of policies and procedures in and of itself does not create a constitutional issue or a due process issue. They can follow policies and still violate due process. They can still follow policies.
Your Honor, as to our argument in the case is that these folks at Boynton Beach PD were more motivated by doing a good episode for the cop show at the expense of safeguarding Dippolito's constitutional rights.
What's your question, Mr. General? Did he have a problem with anything they did at Boynton Beach Police Department?
Okay, let me try to rephrase it. Did you observe anything at the police department that led you to believe that things got out of control?
I think relevance, Judge.
I'm going to give him a little attitude. Overrule.
Well, as I answered earlier, I was not present at the police department during Ms. Dippolito's interviews and everything during that phrase, so I did not personally see anything at the police department of concern. I didn't see anything.
You saw them walk with Jean in front of Ms. Dippolito, didn't you?
No. I don't know what the sergeant was thinking and what his reasoning was for doing it at the time. So I can't tell you. Yeah, I have no idea.
Sustained. Move on.
Normally, when a person is in custody and not free to leave, there's protocol by case law that the person would be given Miranda. If a person doesn't feel that they're in our custody and control and they are free to leave, then it's not necessary. So again, I don't know.
Would agree with me that Stephanie Slater posting the staged crime scene on YouTube within a few minutes after the staged crime scene is a violation of Boynton Beach PD
But I would agree with you that it shouldn't have been posted.
And why shouldn't it have been posted?
Because it's an ongoing case, an ongoing investigation. That was just one small piece of that case, and it shouldn't have been out for the public consumption.
And just a couple of last questions. You and cast,
Yes.
and that was about the Dalia Dippolito case, right?
Yes, it
It was
was.
in conjunction with the cops airing the episode?
I believe it was. Yes, she set that up.
All right, and that was within a few months after Ms. Dippolito was arrested, correct?
Yes, it was relatively soon, yes.
Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
Cross-examination.
By of the fake crime scene. How did that hamper the investigation?
No, it didn't actually. Like I tried to explain, we did it to enhance the investigation.
How many times have you ever worked on You didn't work on either one?
No, this one and one prior in the 80s.
Okay, and so before you were there?
No, I was there already.
You were there?
Yep.
Okay. But you didn't work on that?
No, sir.
And then, so your whole career, none? The people that you were working with, had any of them ever worked on a
It's a very rare occurrence.
and not only was it a rare occurrence, the stuff that you're able to create on a policy manual for confidential informants is because that's something that occurs on a regular basis. When you guys work confidential informants to do drug deals, to find drug dealers and traffickers and stuff like that. What's going on here?
That is true, yes.
Me coming in off the street to you and telling you that someone I know, not even that well, is telling me about killing her husband. I don't know where they live. I don't know anything about her husband. What do you guys do with that?
And a very lengthy amount of time, hours and hours, trying to even drive through the area to locate, because he had recalled possible locations, trying to locate even where the residential community might be.
And you guys...
Yes, we did.
And get control phone calls between Mr. Shahad and the defendant, and now you guys know what he's telling you is truthful.
Correct.
And there's no doubt about what he's telling you. She's talking about hiring a hitman to murder Mike Dippolito. Weren't paying him, were you?
No.
And he wasn't working off any cases.
No.
He had no personal motive in this to benefit him and himself in any way.
Speculation.
Overruled.
And all the evidence that you have,
Specific motive other than he wanted to intervene in someone's life being in jeopardy.
so just morals.
That's it.
What information till today do you have that Mr. He could speak to what he did, but
That's just a phrase as to what he did.
Did you ever force him to continue working?
No, sir.
I don't want to work anymore, I want out.
I've never heard that.
When did you speak with Mr. Shahade on a couple occasions?
Only once.
Did he appear to you that he was very intelligent?
He seemed intelligent enough, yes.
Enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Average intelligence. I mean, he didn't come across as a scientist or did not.
And I know you told us that that you guys could have delayed the meeting that happened at Chili's. Minutes earlier that she was going to meet. You guys knew that Jean Woody was there. Woody Jean was going to meet with her, right?
Yes.
An hour later.
Right.
Did you know that at the end of that telephone conversation before they met at Chili's that she told him that I'm not going to go through that, I'm just going to go find my own guys to do this? Do you guys have control over her anymore?
No, and then we have a
You have
victim,
no idea what's
a
going
victim
on.
out there, correct.
She could have done it herself.
Correct.
And you That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Redirect.
No redirect.
Okay, you may step down.
Thanks, sir.
Any additional witnesses from the test?
No, Your Honor.
State planning to call any witnesses?
I have one quick. I don't know how long cross it's going to be.
Who's the witness?
Detective Marino.
I'm approaching the point where I'm required to shut the courtroom down, so I don't know how long this is going to be.
I mean, I have very basic questions of him, similar to what I just asked Detective Ramsey.
All right, let's get started and we'll see what we're
Okay. I'll grab him.
Stand by right.
Got me.
How's it going?
State your name
Alex Marino,
and how to spell last name.
M-O-R-E-N-O,
And where do you work?
Point Beach,
How long?
18 and a half years.
All right, and you're a detective there?
What's that?
What are you doing now?
I'm a road officer.
Okay. And were you detective back in 2009?
Yes.
Were you assigned this case?
Yes.
All right. Just a couple questions. Did you deal with Mr. Shahade?
Yes.
Did you ever threaten Mr. Shahade?
No.
At any time?
No.
Did you ever threaten him? He said, I don't want to keep helping you guys out, and you threatened him with prosecution?
No.
Did you ever threaten him any other way?
No.
Did Mr. Shahade ever tell you, I don't want to work with you guys anymore?
No.
All right. Did, when you met with him and went over the confidential informant agreement, did you just basically shove it in front of him, tell him to sign it, didn't want to read it?
No.
Was Mr. Shahade working off any charges with you?
No.
Did you pay him?
No.
Did you pay him even after the fact?
No.
Did he ever ask to get paid?
No.
Did you guys search the Dippolito residence?
Yes.
And tell the judge, what did you guys find related to scripts and paperwork and things on the computer talking about a script for planning a hit that would be something made for a TV movie?
I did not.
Nothing ever. Right? You guys
Yes.
searched the whole Mr. Dippolito.
Detective Marino, is it true that you're pictured on the front cover of the book that came out about Dalia Dippolito's case?
Yes.
And it's also true that you're photographed at the book signing Also true that back in August of 2009, Boynton Beach PD had the capability of providing Mohammed Shahadi a device to record all of his phone calls between he and Ms. Dippolito.
What exactly are you asking?
Could you have given Mohammed Shahadi a device to make sure that of the phone calls from Ms. Dippolito, you weren't around?
Yeah, we could have provided him with a recorder, yes.
Recording device, correct?
What is the problem?
Well, that was a bad, that's a good point. That's a bad question. I'll withdraw the question. Shahadi was in here saying that you called him numerous times to get him to set up a meeting with Dippolito. Is he lying?
No, there were several conversations, of course, to set up a meeting.
But you called. You called. You were urging him to call Dippolito, correct? You weren't. Okay. So Shahadi's lying about that?
I can't speak with what he said, but like my investigation describes, I was the assigned detective to it. I investigated to the best of my knowledge. It was something that was brought up to me. I didn't seek the CI. The information was brought up to us and we worked the case.
Yeah, at some point you found out there were over 600 phone calls made by Shahadi to Dalia Dippolito, correct?
I couldn't tell you the exact amount.
Well, that would surprise you, right?
What's that? You're not even giving me a time span.
Well, over 3 days, 4 days.
3 days, 600?
Yeah, it's a lot, right?
It is.
Pardon me?
It is.
That's a lot, right? Yeah, you probably would want to know what was discussed between Shahadi and Dippolito during those phone calls, right?
Of course.
And you want to know to preserve the integrity of the investigation, correct?
Losing her?
Yeah, losing her.
What do you mean?
Do you remember ever using that exact word, losing her?
I don't recall.
Okay. And it's true you didn't know Dalia's last name, correct?
No.
Is it no? That's a bad question. Did you know Dalia's last name when you were working with the informant Shahadi?
Before I got involved in this investigation and with the CI, I didn't know who the defendant was. I didn't know who the victim was. I didn't even know who the CI was.
Oh, and remember that Chili's encounter between Shahadi and Dalia Dippolito?
Yes.
Isn't it true that you felt like Shahadi should have been wired before he went in there, right?
It would have been nice, yes.
Yeah, you wanted to have him wired, right?
Yes, it would have been nice.
Okay. Shahadi?
The original, the first time when we got involved, yes.
You went through each page with him?
It's been a long time. That's what we usually do, yes.
Okay, but do you have a specific recollection of?
Throughout my career, I was a narcotics officer. I had plenty of CIs throughout my career. I was a detective for 8 years. So for me to go back to a specific
Do you recall an interview, when you first interviewed Shahadi, that they had to redo the interview because the officers were laughing?
No.
You don't remember that? Okay. Do you think
they gave me the information. of what was going on, and the case was assigned to me. I didn't know Mr. Shahadi. The story was given to me, what was going on. Once we started our investigation, we didn't know what to expect till we first had the during the first meeting between the CI and the defendant.
All right, so as I understand your testimony today under oath, you believe that Shahadi's credible, right?
Yes.
All right, so he testified here a few weeks ago. You find him to be a credible person, correct?
Yes, in this case.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Additional evidence from the state?
Does not have any other evidence.
Okay. What do you guys want to do about summations?
Your Honor, if possible, I'll try to truncate it because I've got to head back to California in the morning and try to knock it out quickly. Court permit.
Well, you're going to have to. It's not my rule. Comes down from the chief judge.
I'll do it quickly. How much time do you think globally we could have, Your Honor? 15 minutes or?
No, you don't have 15
5
minutes. I'm
minutes.
telling you.
3 minutes.
I'll let you do that.
Okay.
I get later this week. If you really want to do it in person, I can do that. But I've read the motion. Mr. Williams, your response doesn't really tell me anything. It's
Judge, what
3 pages long. It doesn't really get into
Yeah, because what happened in this motion is he writes down this fact that happened, this fact happened, so therefore this is what happened. I disagree with everything, so therefore this is
I
what
know,
happened.
but I can't tell that from, basically your response says, I disagree with the facts cited, and then cites 2 cases, so it doesn't really address some of these specific points.
Yeah, but if you look at those 2 cases, every one of those points is addressed in there.
Well, I've read the cases,
Yeah.
trust me, and a bunch more.
So they address all the issues that we're talking about in here. They lay it out factually. We have very similar scenarios to
facts in the case. I do need you to comment on them in your summation. So I'll give you guys five minutes apiece at this point, and if you ask me to supplement after that, I'll consider it.
Okay.
Court follows the law in the case. The law is cited in our brief. State versus Williams, the Bist case. It's clear based on the law that if the court looks at the totality of the circumstances of the Boynton Beach Police Department, starting from the confidential informant packet before the investigation, failing to control the informant, over 600 phone calls, not monitored, not recorded.
Well, but the case law objective entrapment, outrageous government conduct. There has to be more. There has to be something from the CI, from the confidential informant, in the way of threat or promise, and so that comes down to a factual determination.
Right, but we have that, Your Honor.
Well,
we have
you're
that.
arguing to me you do, but you're saying as a matter of law. It's not as a matter of law. I have to make conclusions of fact as to who I believe, as to what.
Fair enough, but got 3 minutes left. Let me tell you the most powerful fact that you can easily decide. Because Shahadi has absolutely no motive whatsoever, none, zero, to walk in here. You just heard Marino say he's a credible guy. Wanted nothing, did not want to be involved, didn't want to be wired. He was threatened, coerced, had arguments with Marino. Marino called him 10 times, getting him to do it. He, and I've got quotes in here that I'd like to submit from his testimony as a supplemental brief. Those facts standing alone and deactivated immediately. And as a result of the failure to do that, we then have fruit of the poisonous tree. We have all of these videotapes now that are the result of egregious misbehavior on the part of the police department that have ruined, I'm not saying she's a saint, created by an informant who wanted no part of this, should have been removed. Then you've got Stephanie Slater clearly violating other procedures, taking YouTube videos, posting them for the world in clear committing, falsifying a police report, who's so desperate in a frenzy to get a cop's TV show that he tries to falsify a waiver form. He tries to put a document in front of Ms. Dippolito telling her it's something
a statement. I never heard what the statement was. I mean, I don't understand. I didn't hear testimony with respect to what it is that he falsified.
Well, he falsified the police report.
But
He
I
did
didn't
too.
hear that testimony. I heard there was an investigation about,
Right.
under investigation for falsifying a statement. Conclusions of the investigation, but I heard he was under investigation. I never heard evidence as to precisely what. In fact, you telling me it's was a material issue, was a not material issue. I'm not condoning that behavior. You don't falsify anything in the police report. It's sworn to. It's under oath. It's perjury to do so. I'm not condoning that behavior, but I'm trying to assess the materiality of that in connection with the issues you've raised in this case.
Right.
And maybe the state will tell me when they get up what it was about. I don't know, but I don't know what exactly was falsified.
Well,
I know there was a falsification of an investigation.
I understand. But with a major decision, okay? That recording or non-recording at Chili's restaurant, this court's heard two versions. We've heard one version, Shahadi was not wired and there was a delay. We heard Shahadi, I asked him twice, Your Honor, under oath. Twice. And he's testified, I've cited the deposition testimony as well. He's been asked 4 times now under oath throughout this case. Were you wired when you went into Chili's? He said he's, quote, 100% sure. He was taken down to the station and he's 100% sure. Now, you ask me, why would Shahadi ever have any motive to lie about that fact? In fact, it would be the contrary. You think he'd walk in here and say, oh, I wasn't wired. No, I don't know. He's wired. He has no reason to lie to you about that. Now, if this court believes that, okay, then we have an issue of intentional destruction a 40-minute encounter when Ms. Dippolito has testified today that she's in fear, and we've got evidence of Shahadi saying, yeah, I'm afraid now. They've threatened to prosecute me. He's putting pressure on Dippolito. And
he denied that.
Pardon me?
He denied that. He took the stand and said, I mean, you're telling me he's credible. He doesn't have any basis to lie. But he also took the stand and said he never threatened Ms. Dippolito, never showed her the gun,
right.
And she never said that she wanted to back out of the court.
Right. Why would he tell you that? Why would he admit Dippolito inside Chili's, but he doesn't have a motive. He has no motive to come in here and tell you that he wanted nothing to do with this, wanted to not be a part of it, and that he was wired inside of Chili's. And I will urge the court again, based on your comments, sounds like we don't have much of a shot on this, but I will tell you, if you look at the cases, it's totality of the circumstances, and that recording, Shahadi, if you believe him that he was recorded, we are missing that recording.
Well, if I believe, let me just put this in context, if I believe that there is a recording, there was a recording, in other words, a recording existed, and it was destroyed or lost by the Boynton Beach Police Department, then we have an Arizona versus Youngblood problem. And apart from outrageous government conduct, you have a due process claim under Arizona versus Youngblood. So that is a significant issue if, in fact, the tape existed. If there's evidence that the tape existed and it was destroyed, I think that analysis then is Arizona versus which the finding is there. But I mean, that's a separate issue that can be raised by, by a separate motion. But in terms of, so that is significant if in fact there was a tape that existed and it was destroyed. If there was no tape and it was sloppy police work because there was no tape, that may be an issue, but it's not an Arizona versus Youngblood issue. It's a different issue.
All right, and I'll leave you with this. Of the police report is important is because who do you want to believe? Do you want to believe a sergeant who has lied in this investigation? We have testimony in this case. Katz came in here today. Chief Katz told you that there was an internal affairs investigation regarding falsifying the police report. So who are you going to believe? Sheridan, who has shown that he can easily lie, or Shahade when it comes to wiring, when Shahade has no motive at all on the wiring part. And with that, I will submit to your honor. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Williams.
Do you have any questions?
Why don't we pick up with Sheridan? Nobody's told me.
Testified to his credibility.
With falsifying a statement. That's all I've heard. I don't know what that statement was except what Mr. Katz told me.
Unfortunately, I don't know that.
I understand that. In a police report, I don't know whether what was said was material. All I know based on the evidence that I have in front of me.
And that's all we have for evidence, Judge, because I don't know.
So you don't have an answer?
I don't know what happened with it. It's because it's an internal affairs investigation. They destroy them after a couple of years. I don't know what happened with it. So I have no idea. But if you want to start with Mr. Shahade, you got the judge's credibility when it's here. And you saw when I cross-examined him how the facts that he gave on his direct were exaggerated. You want to help out. He took liberty with the word, and his use of words were all to exaggerate. And we know what his motive is because he was friends with her since 2000, 2001. He doesn't want to be the guy that's sending her up the river. That's not what he wants. So he wants to distance himself, make it look like the police forced him to do all this. In fact, he even says that he calls Ian Goldstein as an attorney, and we know Ian Goldstein's not going to give him crackpot advice when he calls him. So he just had a problem telling the truth, and he has a good reason for wanting to do it. The thing about the being wired there's no logic to it at all, because the cops are listening. Why would I threaten to kill her and her family? He would never do that. He would never. This is a guy who prepares scripts. He's going to be in a movie. They're going to be famous. Think of. So that, you can throw that away. It's clear from this that the police did nothing wrong. This is an active the defense's claim is that this is the way this investigation should go down. Really? They had one We rarely even see them here in our courthouse, that they don't happen anywhere. But Boynton Beach is supposed to know all these details. You have a fluid situation that's going on where a woman is trying to find somebody to murder her husband and have it done by August 5th. She wants it done by August 5th. Oh, but they're supposed to follow his procedure. And that's the bottom line what happened here. Nobody violated her due process rights. And that's it, Judge, unless you have some questions.
One more question
What you got?
about the tape, because again, and there was testimony that there was a malfunction, and it's unclear to me, I don't know what the position of the parties is, whether the malfunction allegedly occurred once he was wired and he went in, or the malfunction occurred before he went into the Chili's. That timing wasn't brought, it was not made clear to me in the testimony.
I think the witnesses that testified didn't know. They didn't know whether he had been wired and it didn't work, or when they
intentionally destroyed, then it's a due process violation.
Absolutely.
Versus Youngblood, which would resolve the special
Sure.
case, independent of all the rest of this.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Okay. Well, depending on whether the tape was material exculpatory or potentially useful, I guess. Material exculpatory would be due process, potentially useful or not. Then you have that bad faith on the court. But I guess that I don't really have a whole lot of evidence with respect to whether or not the tape actually existed or not. I've got contradictory evidence with respect to whether or not he was wired or not. The issue with the malfunction.
Had he been in there threatening her and they had a tape and they destroyed it, they're going to be talking to him about it, trying to tell him, hey, be careful about this stuff, and it's definitely going to be an issue.
No, destroyed evidence is an issue.
Yeah, what defies logic about it is now they need her friend to side with the police against her.